Hello and welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newly released SH Figuarts BROLY Superhero from Dragon Ball Superhero. But before we get started, if you haven't yet already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another awesome review. Now, if you do hear a loud humming in the back, that is just our air conditioner going haywire because it is extremely hot outside. We're in the middle of a heat wave, so just bear with me. But I checked the audio and everything seems fine, so hopefully nothing comes across as being muffled. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But yeah, with that out of the way, we can see we have BROLY Superhero here. This is the new version of BROLY from the Superhero movie. Doesn't really look that much different. The only big difference between this one and the previous versions that we got from the BROLY movie is his upper body. So right off the bat here we see we got a nice big box, which is signature of BROLY. He is a very tall character. We see on the front he's just wearing kind of his purple spandex suit instead of the Saiyan armor like he did before. He still has the green. If you watch the BROLY movie, I'm pretty sure it's not a spoiler at this point by now. It's just the ear of his friend that he used to train with on the planets. And here we do see kind of BROLY in the back there. We do see BROLY Superhero in metallic lettering, which is pretty standard for the superhero figures. On this side, we do see BROLY looking very stern, looking a little angry, and we see a nice big arm and hand. We do see that this is a superhero, this is a P Bandai figure, unfortunately, but it is what it is. On the bottom, BROLY is giving a OK sign, and we do have that belt again on the side. BROLY Superhero on the top, he's a little angry. And on the back, we do see all of the product shots. He's looking a little sad there. And of course, the Build a Gohan capability, which is just the hair kind of blowing off towards the left side. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. So without further ado, let's crack this guy open and see what he has to offer. Alright, and here we have BROLY Superhero all out of the packaging. Let's take a quick look at this figure. You see, very nicely sculpted, of course. He's BROLY, he's meant to be big, he's always jacked, full of muscle. Very nice. Lots of muscle texturing on the back as well. Just kind of this dark gunmetal grayish almost. Of course, it's not metallic, but that's kind of the color that it comes across as. Kind of like almost like a spandex jumpsuit there. Of course, the face, very nicely sculpted. Some people say it actually looks a little better compared to the previous BROLY version, which towards the end I'll take a quick look at that as well. Nice legs here, of course, lots of muscle again. Again, this is the exact same as that previous BROLY release, just in a slightly different coloring. But everything else is about the same, kind of these giant clown shoes that he has, the green tip. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, he doesn't have the inhibitor that the previous BROLY had because, of course, now he is no longer under control of his father and he has more control over his power, over his emotions, so he doesn't need anything like that anymore. So, let's get into the articulation. Neck is on a double ball joint. Base of the neck is on a ball joint as well. We do have nice butterfly joints that get to around there and very nicely covered as well. We don't see a lot inside. We do have a ball joint that goes all the way around, very smooth. A hinge joint that gets you just over 90. We do have a bicep rotation here. Double bend at the elbow, which doesn't really get you a lot because, like I said, he has too much muscle. And I believe this is a ball hinge at the wrist there. So getting the arms out of the way, we do have a ab crunch of this much, which is very good. However, it does not look the greatest because there is a massive gap back here, and there's also some whitening. Now, this doesn't look like stress. It actually just looks like kind of like scraping, maybe some residue of something, but yeah, nothing to worry about there. And of course, backwards bend, we do get that much as well, and of course a little bit gappy, so that's not the greatest there. Waist is a ball joint, so he has very good articulation there. Now, this back skirt is on a hinge, and it is soft material anyway, but it can actually fold up to right about there, so he does have some backwards motion with his leg, which is not the greatest. Gets you to about there. He has a big butt there. Forward, he can kick. If you drop the leg down here, you can actually kick quite a bit forward. And I actually just figured that out now with this figure. I actually didn't remember the old one having that drop down thigh mechanic, but when I actually pulled that old one out just now and played with it, there is this kind of this hip drop down thing, which is actually really cool. We do have a thigh rotation, double bend at the knee to about there. And of course, a swivel up into the ankle, a swivel into the foot, and a hinge in the middle with a toe pivot that gets you to about there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. Let's get everything all nicely positioned here. Make sure he can stand. And let's take a look at some of this guy's accessories. So, starting off with the faces here, we have him screaming. And we can see nice scar on the face. We have him gritting his teeth. He's a little angry. Again, nice scar. Very nicely picked out details. There's a little bit of a smudge there, but that's gone now. And finally, BROLY is crying. For someone as big and strong as him, you really don't expect him to cry. And of course, actually, still don't know why he's crying because I haven't watched the movie. Yeah. Next, let's take a look at some of his hands. So he has two kind of open palm blasting hands, two open semi-grasping hands, and finally he has that OK sign for his right hand here. And of course, last but not least, he is a superhero figure, and every superhero figure comes with a Build-A-Gohan capability. So, bringing in Gohan here, I already have the head installed. Here we see the only difference is his hair is now blowing off to the left, compared to the original hair, which is just more up right there. It's not even that significant, but it's there. And honestly, out of all of the different heads and accessories that we got with Gohan, I think this one is the most pointless, just in my personal opinion. Of course, there's probably someone out there that really does like the blowing off hair this way, but to me personally, I think we would have gotten something even better had they thought about it. But I mean, it is what it is. And something also to mention is that this one just comes with a hairpiece. It doesn't even come with the face. All the other previous figures actually came with a different face with the head. All you had to do was pop it off and plug it back on. This one actually had to take the face off of the original head and then put it on this one and then plop the head on. So yeah, that is that. So while he's here, let's get into some quick comparisons here. I'm going to put him right next to BROLY. You can see quite a big size difference here. Of course, BROLY being the legendary Super Saiyan, he is quite big compared to all the other guys. Here we have him next to the Wrath form of the previous BROLY from the BROLY movie. And honestly, between these two figures, I do like this one much more because you can see lots of textured shading on the arms, scar, everything. And the armors looks much better compared to this one. But as I was saying here, the legs are exactly the same. The only difference is this is now a shade lighter compared to this. And everything else, just from the upper body up, is different. It's just the lower legs are completely the same. And as I was mentioning earlier, the legs do kind of collapse and retract just like the other one. Now, of course, BROLY being BROLY, he does kind of change every single time that he powers up. He gets bigger too, so you can almost argue that you can extend the legs down, and now he is taller in his Wrath form compared to his original form, if this guy can stand properly. So we can see that the Wrath form is now taller than the regular form. So, just putting them there. I am going to move Gohan to the front here because you guys already know what's coming next. And that is, of course, the legendary form of BROLY, which is, of course, absolutely massive compared to all the other guys. But to this date, I still think this is one of the best Dragon Ball Figuarts figures ever produced. He is just really beefy and very fun to handle, and I just absolutely love this guy. So yeah, that's it for comparisons. And one more thing before we actually get to final thoughts here. So this is the regular head that we got with the previous version of BROLY, and I just want to do a quick comparison between the two heads here. So between the two, I do like this one more. I just feel that the features are sharper, he looks much more toned, much more anime accurate rather than this one over here. Not to say that this one's bad, but just between the two, I definitely prefer the new one over the old one here. And as you can see, the head, the hair is exactly the same. So, final thoughts on this guy. What do I think? I mean, it's nice that we're getting another BROLY figure, and he's kind of in a different style compared to the older ones. But honestly, between this guy and the other two versions of Broly, I do think that this is the weakest. In terms of the faces, though, I definitely do love this guy. The faces on this guy are much better than the previous one that we got. But other than that, really, like I said, the lower leg is the same as that previous Broly. The only difference is this upper body. And honestly, he looks a little scrawny just with this kind of this little unarmored suit compared to the one which does have the armor. It just looks so much better, in my personal opinion. But, I mean, it's not a bad figure by any means. In terms of accessories-wise, he's very simple. Comes with 3 pairs of extra hands. Comes with a 3 extra faces, and then, of course, just a hairpiece for Gohan. So, if it wasn't for the Gohan gimmick, I wouldn't even call this guy Premium Bandai, because he really doesn't come with much. Price point wise, he's not bad. If I remember correctly, he is about 70 USD, which, I mean, for figures that are smaller than him, they are charging more because, of course, they do come with more accessories. But, I mean, for 70 USD for someone this size, I am not that upset about. I just feel like he could have come with a little bit more and could have been done a little bit better. But like I said, by any means, he is not a bad figure at all. So, yeah, that's my review of the Broly superhero figure from SH Figuarts. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.